A fair punishment for my cheating wife that can help you to take the most legal revenge ever. Hello guys. My name is Jack and I live in Boston today. I'll show you the most worst and such an interesting incident of my life that I cannot forget this incident of my loving wife. Infidelity. It leaves horrible effect on my life but not for a long time. And she cheated on me with her male friend for some time. I got hurt very much. It seems like my life is over, but then I overcame on my situation. My wife's name was Hazel. This story has been 6 years ago from today. I belong to a very good family. My father had his own business which was doing very well. Many employees were working in our company whose employment was connected with our company. I have lived a luxurious life since my childhood. I studied in a good school and graduated from a good college. My life was so peaceful and never faced any problem with money, or whenever I decided or wanted something, it was presented to me. Every comfort and convenience was available. My parents loved me very much. They fulfilled all my stubbornness and wishes from my childhood. I do not remember they ever failed to fulfill any of my wishes. After all these joys, I faced a great sorrow in my life. And this sorrow came from my very dear and loving wife. When I completed studies, I took over my father's business. My father's health was not very good anyway, so I decided to take care of my father, and now I'll take over his business. I was very good at my job. And in my prisons, our business was growing day by day. There were many people working in our company. I also had a girl working in them. Her name was Hazel. She was very beautiful, like her name. Meeting her was probably the most beautiful meeting of my life with a beautiful girl. Hazel had not been working in our company for a long time. So she did not know me when she came to work in our company. My first meeting with her was in the lift of my office. I had never seen her before and she looked so beautiful. I was attracted to her without wanting. So she had a file in her hand which made me realize she was an employee working in my company. She didn't feel any special attitude by looking at me. This made me realize she does not know I am her boss. I found her words very interesting after the elevator stopped. We both had the same floor on which we had to go off. But I still talked to her a lot. I asked her how long it was past year, on which she replied, she was just 2 weeks here while doing this. Then I asked her if she is facing any problems in this company. After hearing this, she put a long list of her problems in front of me. She started telling me the bad things of my own company. Then she started complaining to me about her salary and said this company is paying her very less while I do more work. I asked her, have you met your boss of this company? How is his attitude towards his employees? So she said, no, I have never met him, but I know he will be a very rude person who treats his employees very bad and gets so much work. She was doing my bad things on my face and I was listening to her with great love. She was very beautiful. Her face was very innocent. Then she asked me about me. Do you work in this company? So I told her yes, I have come here to give an interview. So after hearing this, she gave me the answer and told me not to work here, go to another company and they pay very less to their employees. She said to me in a very innocent way after that, she went her way and I went my way. The few problems that Hazel told me, I worked on them and tried my best to give peace to my employees regarding their work. Then I also increased Hazel's salary. She still does not know that I'm her boss. Hazel's work was very difficult for her to meet me. So even after a week passed and she did not know that I was her boss. After a week, she met me again. I asked her, how is your work going? She answered me very happily. Yes. My wife is going very well. She laughed at the joke, told me that I think my boss listened my words that I could say to you on that day and he increased my salary. I was starting to like Hazel so much that I changed her job and gave her a job in my own company where she could see me every day. Then I called her to my office one day for work. When she saw me sitting on boss's chair, she got worried and wondered why I was sitting here, and she understood the whole matter. So she started crying. I immediately got up from my chair and started to make her shut up. She thought I was going to get her fired and she started apologizing to me. At first, I scared her a lot and took a lot of work from her for a few days as a punishment. But I did not intend to make her work more. But I wanted her to go through this work, be closer to me. Then gradually I became her friend and we both became very close to each other. But she did not love me. She only saw me as a friend, but I wanted her to know how I feel of her and how much I love her. I wanted Hazel to love me the way I love her. One day I took her with me to a business meeting and by telling her that you will support me as my manager. But in reality, it was not a business meeting, but I took her to a nice restaurant away from work. So I could tell her my feelings. I thought I would marry her. She was constantly asking for a business meeting, but I did not answer her. Then I ordered a nice meal. We both had dinner together and then I asked her, will she marry me? She rejected me without thinking and left in a rage. I was thinking about it all the night and thought that in the morning, I would go and apologize to her for what I said to her last night. I was afraid of one thing. She might not leave this job next day. When I reached office, I saw Heel did not come to work today. I got scared and I felt my doubt has turned into belief and she has left her job. I left all my work and went to her house. When I reached her house, I saw that she was sick, due to which she was not in the office. So I took care of her and told her to forget all that. I told her last night, and when she's fine, get back to her work as usual. When I went, Hazel hold my hand and told me I'm ready to marry you, but I don't love you now, and I want some time to love you and to hear it. I hugged her. After that, I noticed a clear difference in Hazel's attitude. I started feeling like she started loving me. She also started loving me. And after dating each other for a month, we got married. After marriage, our life is going very well. Hazel's presence in my life was nothing less than a blessing. I loved her very much, and also she loved me and took care of me in this beautiful life of ours. One day, Hazel's very old college friend came in our life. His presence ruined my life. My wife's friend's name was Thomas. One day my wife brought her friend to my office and recommended me for her job. I agreed because I loved her very much and never say no for her any wish, and gave him a job in my company. And this was the biggest mistake of my life. I mentioned my wife's friend was not able to do this job, but my wife started to fight with me and said, he's very worthy boy and a very good friend. But I fulfilled my wife's wish. One thing about Hazel is very bad to me. She used to come to the office every day to meet her friend. She never came to the office to meet me, but she used to come every day for her friend. She used to invite him for food as well. I felt very bad of his interference in our life. I mentioned this to Hazel and said, I don't like your friend's presence in our life. Hearing this, my wife got angry with me and started arguing. I started to feel as if my friend is more important in her life than me. She can leave me but not her friend. I loved my wife very much and I did not want to lose her under any circumstances. Therefore, I ignored all these things for her as her innocence, but I have fear of fun thing. This man will ruin our life, and my suspect became true slowly. Now my wife started loving this person and that guy started telling her to leave me and divorce me. With the passage of time, my wife's attitude towards me was changing, like she used to love and care for me before she was no longer the same. My importance in her life was diminishing, and this is all because of his friend. When I saw this behavior, I got scared and thought she might leave me. So I fired this guy and told my wife, "You will never meet this guy again." There was a very heated argument between me and my wife on this matter. It even reached the point of divorce. She was angry with me for a long time. But later she accepted my words and said I will not meet my friend anymore. After the boy left, I thought maybe my wife would be calm like before. And we both started to live a beautiful life like before. But it was all just my illusion. We never had the same love again. She was busy on her phone all the time and giving me no time at all. I was fed up with everything. I was trying my best to keep my wife happy so she could love me like before. But all my votes were failing. One day I returned home early from my office and my wife was talking to someone on the phone. As soon as she saw me, she hung up the phone immediately and I saw some signs of worry on her face. The color turned yellow as if I had caught her stealing. I asked her to make coffee for me. She immediately went to the kitchen and started making coffee for me. So I opened her phone and saw she was talking to her friend, but I was very angry. I did not make her feel at all like I knew who she was talking to. I immediately turned on the recording on my wife's phone. So when she would talk to this friend again, I would know I sent one of my spies to keep an eye on my wife. My spy kept a close eye on my wife. What time she was doing, where she was going, and who she was meeting, everything my would tell me and I would be aware of everything. One day my sent me a video about my wife which made my eyes tear up and I started hating my wife because she was cheating on me with her friend. In this video, I saw my wife met her friend and she hugged him and kissed him. I decided to divorce my wife. I was gathering all the evidences against her, but I wanted to teach her a good lesson as a revenge. One day when I came home, I saw my wife was not at home but her phone was at home. Maybe she had accidentally left her phone at home in a hurry to go somewhere. I took the opportunity and checked her phone recording and started playing my main recording in seconds. I got that one in which recording of their phone call they were reminiscing about their college days, which made me realize my wife loved his friend a lot during her college days. But at that time, I did not like her. And then I heard my wife's friend was saying you would divorce from your husband. So live a very beautiful life after the divorce because your husband is very rich and you will surely get many wealth in your pod in the result of divorce. And then we will get married. I understood that guy was greedy and just wanted to marry my wife for money. I thought of taking revenge from my wife. And after a few days later, I made some imitation papers on which I signed it from my wife with a cheat in which papers my wife gave me that part of property that she'll be getting after divorce. And she signed it. One day, I put all the evidences in front of my wife. She was cheating on me and having an affair with her friend that night. Something bad happened between us and I divorced her and kicked her out of my house, and there was no problem on my wife's face because she also wanted me to divorce her. But it did not work because she wanted to divorce me for the purpose of getting half of my property. But I had already signed the papers fraudulently in which she refused to accept the property which she get after divorce. When that man found out wife did not get anything from the property after the divorce, he left her. But my wife realized her friend was only with her for money. She was very ashamed of what she had done. I love my wife very much. But when I found out she was cheating on me and was only with me for money, I started hating her so much. She would have ruined a happy life with her own hands by following her friend's words. I could not control myself for a long time. After my divorce from Hazel, I could not bear her cheating and always persisted in spite of this hatred. I used to love her. I had divorced her, but I could not bear her separation from me. I was not able to give my intentions on my business and my business was also deteriorating after she left. My personality changed a lot. I started to stay away from people. I was afraid to trust them after the divorce. Hazel tried to apologize to me many times, but I never forgave her. But now many years have passed since the incident, and I no longer have any hatred for Hazel because I had taken a nice revenge from her. Some time ago, Hazel also got married to another guy, and she's also living a good life. I still talk to Hazel on the phone sometimes when she calls me, and every time I talk to her, she apologizes to me for what she did. She's very ashamed of what she did. And I want to forgive her now too. Today I am single and living a prosperous and peaceful life.